Well, the transformation of one former local high school athlete is so remarkable, you'll just have to see it for yourself. Good evening. I'm Matt Hosworth coming to you live once again from home tonight. Casey Rogers, you may remember that name, a three-sport star athlete at Westhill just a few years back, has quite literally gone from a sharpshooting lacrosse player to a nearly 300-pound defensive lineman for Nebraska. It is quite amazing. As he recently told me, he is now living out his new dream.
Every morning I wake up and I think I play for Nebraska. It's a dream come true. You know, like you said, I wasn't really from the Midwest, so before I got here, I really didn't fully understand, you know. But yeah, no, being a Nebraska football player, you know, it's a dream come true. It's something I'll forever be proud of.
It's hard to believe that Casey Rogers was once this Casey Rogers. Feels like a lifetime ago, but he still looks back fondly of his time growing up in central New York.
I'm a Syracuse kid, and, you know, there's not a lot out here in the Midwest. So I think I just miss being with other Syracuse people.
He still views himself as a Westhill warrior through and through, carrying an entire region on his back in Big Ten country.
Westhill is it's fun to play sports there. I think every kid can testify that it's serious, but the standard there is to be good.
That's because Casey Rogers is entering his redshirt sophomore year with the Nebraska Cornhuskers, expected to play a bigger role along the defensive line for head coach Scott Frost.
You know, practice is just different, you know, especially this spring. I mean, we had 2 practices, and they were probably the most intense spring practices I've ever been a part of. And, you know, things are just looking the right way.
However, football was not always the plan. In fact, Casey was practically signed, sealed, and delivered to play lacrosse here at Syracuse University until he had a change of heart, something his dad remembers quite vividly.
His senior year in high school, he had a really good football season, and you know, he had committed to play lacrosse at Syracuse. And you know, big. I mean, you don't see kids his size that are left-handed who you know, that move as well as he can move. So that's you know, was kind of the reason that we kind of picked him at Syracuse, and he committed to it. So you know, we were done with the recruiting process, to be honest. We really didn't visit any other schools, and then you know, senior year, he got some bites from some coaches.
That's Leland Rogers, the defensive coordinator for the Orange men's lacrosse program, a 1987 graduate of Syracuse University, and now an avid fan of Nebraska football.
I got a Syracuse flag here. I've got Nebraska over here. I got Nebraska over there. And it's fun. It's what we do in life, right? We support our kids, and you know, I love Syracuse, and you know, I love my son. I love where he goes to school. There's not many Nebraska fans in Syracuse, so you know, we're just trying to. I have a flag that I put outside every Saturday.
Now he's probably the biggest Nebraska fan in New York. He probably has more Nebraska garb than I do, but he loves it. He comes out to mostly every game when he can.
The two are now thousands of miles away, but still as close as ever before. But if anything, they hope you don't focus on Casey's shiny destination, because embracing the journey is how a lacrosse player became a high major Division I football player.
We're in that part of the country where we have to work for everything we want. And, you know, and working is never easy. And that's just the card that we were dealt, being from Syracuse, New York, unfortunately. But there's way more athletes than people give credit to that are more than capable of making it to this level.
Now, Lauren, I got to tell you, Casey was telling me he is a journalism and mass communications major at the University of Nebraska in Lincoln. I told him that you better be watching on our CNY Central mobile app. He told me he's tuning in. So I assume he's watching from Lincoln, Nebraska right now. So once we get through this pandemic and everything goes back to normal, Casey, you have a spot to shadow us in the sports department whenever you're back home in Syracuse. So hopefully we can do that much sooner rather than later.
Yeah, he certainly has a good future. So come on here. We'll show you the ropes in TV land. Matt, thank you. Let's check in with Lydia one last time.